Coach, what do you take from this early part of the season? Because you guys obviously have to, get out of this area in order to play, play baseball and normally take your lumps a little bit. But
Yeah.
What do you take from this early part?
Well, we're encouraged with the work we've been able to get done in the Watts. Our pitchers are about at 12 innings pitched right now in scrimmage situations, and the hitters are approaching 30 at bats. So I mean that's equivalent of about seven to 8 games. So we're encouraged with where we are now. Obviously, the opportunity to get outside and get on the field, I think we can take bigger steps with our development because we will be able to be outside and be able to play. Now, some other teams may have already had a lot more time outside than we did, but they've also had some issues that they're maybe unaccustomed to with the ice and the snow and things that have gone through the South in the last couple of weeks. So I mean, obviously we're looking forward to an opportunity to play, but we feel we're pretty well prepared.
You feel like you have more talent than you did? Maybe?
Yeah, I like our talent level. I mean, I think there's no doubt that we're a better defensive team than we were a year ago, and there is a lot more pitching depth. I think especially with our starting rotation, there's some we've been able to put some 3 or 4 quality arms up front. So I think we're much improved there, and we're fairly athletic. So I think we'll be able to maybe create some offense. I don't know that there's anybody we're just going to sit back and wait for that 3-run homer. There's not a whole lot of guys with just that much raw power, but there's some good athletes that swing the bat pretty well.
That said, Coach, are you going to play a lot of small ball then? Try to hit the run a lot?
I think the game will dictate. Obviously we're willing to do that. We'll take whatever shows up. If they want to go ahead and drop some 3-run homers out there, we'll take them. Yeah, we're prepared to do that, and we have some guys that are very efficient at doing that. And I think where we've built our team around a little more around pitching and defense than we were a year ago, we'll look for those opportunities to get a run here or there and maybe extend the lead once we get it. So, I mean, to answer your question, yes, a little bit, but I think obviously the games will kind of dictate what we need to do and have to do.
Steve, hypothetically, with all your colleagues from this part of the country, have you guys talked to the NCAA, or has there been any talk amongst yourself about pushing the season back because of the issues you guys face playing in February?
Well, there is. It's really tied into the College World Series, and they've backed that up already when they've added the best 2 out of 3 at the end of the championship. So I think there's been some talk and some discussion among some of the northern coaches of going ahead and playing 4 or 5 or 6 games in the fall. It would come off of our 56-game total, but then there wouldn't be as many games that might be affected by weather early on in that mid to late March time where you're trying to get some midweek games and you have to postpone and reschedule and things like that. There's been some talk about playing in, like I said, playing in the fall to make it fewer games in the same amount of time. But I don't think we'll get much as far as moving it back, just because there's so many good weather schools and with the tight end of the College World Series.
What about Phil? What are you hoping for him?
Well, I hope he stays healthy. And that's always the #1 goal. But it's a great deal of experience. He's had a couple of really good summers, and I think he's playing with a lot of confidence, which obviously in this game is so critical because the game is designed to beat you. So anything that you can do from a positive mental standpoint is a plus. And I think obviously going into his 4th year of doing this, and like I said, having some success, a second-team all-conference guy a year ago, we're expecting him to provide some leadership and maybe be able to handle some of the bumps in the road a little bit easier than some of the young kids we've got because he's been through it. But we just want him to do what he's capable of doing and not try to do anything more and do nothing less.
I kind of on your roster, you have 10 guys from our viewing area or area. Is this a baseball town? I mean, per se, or you're able to find recruits here? So is this high school baseball growing?
It is, and in a limited time that I've been here, we've seen some good players in this area. We've had a couple of kids even just show up on campus that we didn't even know about. A pitcher from Brookfield that's been an upper 80s arm for us. Kevin Urbanik from Sharpsville. I mean, he's a 90-mile-an-hour arm with an outstanding slider, and he just showed up on campus. We didn't even know, that he was here as a student. So there are quality baseball players. It's maybe the development is a little bit slower because of the weather and the length of the spring seasons, and you start looking at multi-sport athletes. They get to the summer, maybe go do something else, get into 7-on-7 passing camps or whatever else they're involved in. But it is a very popular sport here, and there are a lot of people that prioritize it, and they try to do a really good job with it, and some of the summer leagues are pretty good. So I think this can definitely be a place that we can recruit from, and hopefully we get to a point where when the better kids are available, we don't lose out to the Pitts and the Ohio States and the Kents, and maybe we can snag one or two of them that are the better ones from this area.